A very good day, everyone. So what we are going to be creating next is what I want to show you in this video. Of course, it's still going to be a website, and particularly how you are going to be structuring your design henceforth. All right. For now, we are focusing on websites because website is what you are going to be doing mostly all the time. If you're just starting up like this, it's easier for you to get work of websites as a designer than mobile application. That's what I'm saying. So it's okay that you know how to do website design. When we get to in the class, we are going to design mobile applications together. So we are still going to cover a lot. But for now, let's focus on this website, particularly how to structure it very well so that the developer can build it without even having you to be asking too much of questions from you. All right. So you can see this what you're going to be designing. All right. This, and this. All this on. There's nothing crazy about it. But I want to focus on the structure, as I told you. What I mean by the structure is that the way I organize everything in my design, one after the other. Now, I wanted to finish everything. As in, I want to record this video and redesign everything one after the other. But I noticed that it's going to be too long, and then it will consume a lot of data before it can upload on YouTube, before I sharing it. So let me just keep it short. So probably we are going to be redesign this one if there's going to be more time. But then let me show you the structure before I continue. Now focus on the space, the width of every single element as far as container is concerned. See this now. See this home page. This is our frame. And here we have 1440. This is what you already know before now. That's the size of the frame, the normal desktop screen size. Okay. So inside this home page, we have three main sections. We have the header sections. You can see the header section, the way I structure it. There is a section, and this section is header. All right. So this header section has inside of it a container. You can see we only have one element inside this particular header section, and that is container. So that container is equal to the size of our container. I will show you how to create container. You already know how to do it, but I will still show you when I'm done with this explanation. And this is 1320. All right. Okay. So inside this, we have the logo. Let me name this. The logo. I started again with spelling. The logo, and then here we have nav link. Okay, you can call it names that you like. And one thing is that the main elements in your design, always rename it. Always rename it. Don't just leave it to frame something. Don't let Figma give it a name. Give it your proper name, because sometimes if you are working with a design system that is very big, you even have to incorporate some naming convention. But for now, just name it the appropriate name. So after this header, right, we have another section, and that is the hero section. This is what you already know. This hero section, the same way I structure this header is the same way I structure it. So we have hero. You may not use auto layout, but me, I'm using auto layout here. We have hero. Inside this hero, we have container. That's one element inside the hero. And then you can see this container has the same width as this container inside the header. That's will automatically make your design to be aligned. If you are doing that, you know you're struggling with alignment. And inside of it, we have, inside the hero container, we have different elements, here we have two sections too, of course. We have this one is, let's just call it hero test content, or let me just call it detail group. And then we have the hero image. Now inside the hero image, we have all these items inside of it. So you can see that grouping is very essential, and to make your design very clean, professional, and accurate. Okay. And then we have property section. The same way again, property section is container. We have the main section. If you notice, you can see that this section, there's no space between them, right? So the space inside they are like border inside the property container itself. So we have the container, right? The same way we have this section header and these cards and then this CTA inside of this container. Okay, so let me show you how you can structure it. So let me just press A on my keyboard so that I can bring in this guy. Okay. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to make sure you have this color system that's in place. You can see what I do. I press I and I select the color that I want now. So I'm going to leave this on maybe probably as a component for you so that you don't have to create this from scratch. I think by now you should be able to know how to create this one. But some of you are still struggling with space. That's the problem. That's why I wanted to be creating it from scratch. So what I'm going to do here is let me just rename it to home page. Home page. And then I'm going to go to the layout grid or layout guide. So it's going to be in column. And then we work with 12. That's what you already know. And I'm going to make it color because we are using like colored background now, not white. Want to adjust it a little bit. Okay. So the margin is going to be by now, I think you know the one I like to use, 60. And then the gutter is going to be 40. We have forgotten the margin. The margin is space here at the edge of each side. And then the gutter is the space between each of the stroke or the columns. All right. So now, if we should draw a container now, let me just click on R and draw a rectangle on my keyboard. So you see what we have here now. I'm showing you what it means by size of container. Because sometimes you may use larger container, sometimes you may use smaller container. It depends on your mood board and what you want your design to look like. If you want your design to be bold, then you will use large container. But if you want your container to be, want your design to be just a little bit small at the medium, then use smaller container. Now, I want you to do a research by yourself on container. Just search on YouTube how to use a container in Figma. You will see some videos that explain how the use of container. Sometimes you can have containers 1200. Now, I'm working with 1320. I like this very well. So let me remove this one. Just save it in your memory, 1320. That's what you're going to be working with at the size of a container. I mean, the big container. You can also have small container like this, of course. Like this. It depends on what you have in your design. This is going to be 1094 now. So let me remove this one. So I'm going to remove this one. Now let's work with the header. So let me create the header from scratch. I'm going to press F on my keyboard to create the frame. So this particular one, this one, will be 1440 as the size of the main frame, right? In fact, let me even do it. This is not the way I do it most of the time. What I do is, if you are creating this one from scratch, you have to drag this one like this. Just create this one first, then you create your logo second. That will not be like I'm doing this in an overview way. So now, all of this now, you created this one, you add auto layout, or it's not even in auto layout now, just normal frame. And then you click on this one, and this one, you put it in auto layout, right? And then you give it the space that you want it to have. That's 1320. So if you want it, you can see 1320 is here like this. That's 1320. It's here now. Like this. We have 60 to the left and 60 to the right. As we select it in our layouts guide now, you can see it's fitting to our layout guide. Now, if you want this one to stick to this edge, this one is already sticking by default. Now, you want this one to stick on this edge, you can just give this one auto. That's this frame now. Just give it auto. You can see the stick now. So everything in our design is very aligned. Okay. And for now, we don't want any padding both to the right and to the top whatsoever. Okay. This is going to be our container. Container. Okay. Okay. You have this already. Let me export it out so that we don't forget. This one is here. And this logo is here. Okay. Made the design very nice because a lot of people these days are looking for a real estate web designer. I don't know why. So that maybe you can see it in your portfolio. Then you can win a job. And the next thing is now I want the main frame here, this one here. So how do we do it now? The way I do it, I can do it in a different way. You can decide to draw your frame like this, right? Let me show you the first way to do it. Now this is supposed to be 1442. If it's not, you can adjust it automatically or manually here now. But this one is 1440 now. And by default, because we draw it over this container is automatically inside now. So you can rename this one to header now, or whatever name you want to give it, but just to match the semantic name of HTML, call it header. And then check out the spacing. The space that we have now is 34 by 45. So you want to make it center. What am I clicking? Want to make it center vertically, like this. So you do it this way now. So you have a uniform spacing. You have 40-40. But all you want is you want to put it to 12-12. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this header to 70. That is the height to 70. Okay. Now because of our constraint here, it's set to center, right? That's top and bottom set to center like this. That's why this thing automatically adjusts itself. So if you check it now, you have 12-12. All right? So this is one way of doing it. But we can do it in a better way. Let me remove it now. You can see I've dragged it. This is container. This is header. I've dragged it out. So I'm going to delete this header. This is how I do it. So maybe I can teach you a little bit of auto layout now. So I've selected the container. I'm just going to create another container now. So to do that, just going to press Ctrl, Alt, and G. And that's like group these elements and put inside of another frame. Okay, so you have another frame now that this container is inside of it. So this one now is the parent element now. So let's rename it again to header. Like this, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in auto layout. You can see the size of this container is equal to the size of this header, 120, and then the height, I think even the height of this one is smaller. No, this one is 70. Okay, it's 46, sorry. It's 46. What I want is 70, right? So it's the same. The height and the width is the same. But that's not what you want. What you want for this header is you want it to be 1440. And you want the height to be 70. I hope you are still following me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just press auto layout now. That's Shift and A, auto layout. This is not auto layout. Okay. Shift and A now, auto layout. And if you take a look at this container before, it has a fixed width of 1320. Now it's set to full container. Full container means take the whole width of this parent container, which is the header. So if I say that this one now, we want to set it to 4040, right? This one will now be taking the full width of it with this full container. But that's not what we want. What we want is we want to set it to 1320 because that is the size of our container. Like this, right? Okay, so this one is taking the full width of the main frame, which is the home page. So what we want to do is we want to center it. You can center it this way. Center, horizontal center like this. Okay? Right. Okay, then this one too, we want to center it like this. And everything is fine. So what we need next is we want to make sure that this header is set to all contents, and then we give it 70 height like this. Okay? Right? And then you can see this one is set to, because of it's at the top, you can make it like this. So here now we are back to having our 12-12, I think now. Right? So we want to make sure that this one goes to the top. So you can just press Alt W or press Align Top here now. So we can see we have achieved the same thing with using auto layout. And this way, there's no way it's going to be on point as far as the spacing is concerned. All right. So the next thing that I want to do is let's design this together quickly so that I can show you what I mean. We are not done. So let me just give this one, select this header, then you come to the stroke. The stroke, we only all want bottom stroke. One is okay, or you can even put it to 0.5. Let's say 0.8. And then the color is going to be almost white now. Something like this, it's okay. You can play around with that. So now, I will not be starting this one from scratch. So I will leave this one for you to experiment with. Okay. I will not, this one is, I will leave it for you to experiment with. I will not make it an image. So let me put out the grid so that we can see what is going on. So you can see this one is aligned. So here too, you want to align it here now. And this one too, you want to align it. So you start your own from scratch and then you put it inside of a particular frame or group. Then you make sure that it's aligned to the edge of this particular place here now. So you click both of them. But let me film ungroup it and show you. You can see all of this one, they are now on group now. We have this header text, this main text, we have this description, and we have this action, this CTA button. CTA, let me just call it CTA groups. So what we want to do is we want to pull all of them to auto layout. This one, and this one. Shift A, auto layout. Let's just call it Euro detail. Okay, good. And this one too. I don't need to ungroup this one. If you want to, you can ungroup them and then play around with them. So, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this one, and then Shift A, right? You can see the space is not correct. So we make it to be 1320. All right. Now you can see now we have the 60 and 60 padding both for the left and the right that we were looking for, and everything is cool here now. But we are not done, right? We still want to make it inside of a bigger container. So let me call this one container first. Container. Hopefully I can spell that. So how do we do it now? Now I will now do it using the auto layer that I taught you, the second way. So if you don't get it the first way now, you get it the second way. So the first way to do it is what I already showed you the other time. But the second way is using auto layout. So Control, Alt, and G like this. So you can right click. I've undo that, and then you go to frame selection. That's Control Alt and G, right? Like this. And the same way, the frame is equal to the frame of the children, which is container. That's not what we want, right? So select this frame, the main frame. But let me rename it first. That's the Euro, and then press Shift and A to make it auto layout. Remember, we want to make it to be 1440 like this. Okay, and then this container is now again set to fill container. That's not what we want. We want to make it 1320 like this. Are we good? So this container now, Euro container, that's the main section container. We want to align it to the center. That's Alt and A, Jabi. Okay, good. And you can see this one is aligned to the left. So select the Euro container again and make it to the center like this. All right. Okay. So what I did, extra thing that I did that most designers don't do is that they leave this space as the margin. Margin is the space outside, but padding is the space inside. So what I want to do is I want to make it to be padding, not margin. That's not an EU, of course, but sometimes it just make my work more neater, so that I'll have different sections stacking on top of another. I don't have to accommodate different space again. What I do with that is that I will make sure that this Euro section is set to all content. All content like this. This is the content. The container is the content. If it's hugging the content, the height is going to be equal to the space of the content. So that's what it means. You can see now this is the content, the container, right? See the height here now. See the parent, the Euro, the same height, right? So what I want to do is I want to now shift it up. I want to shift it up. I press Alt and Shift to make the spacing to be moving by 10. If you press only up, it will be moving by 1. But I want to make it to move by 10. Of course, that is what you can edit when you go to the setting, go to preferences, and you go to notch amount. Here. Small notch and big notch. But that's something you can do by yourself later on. If you want to make it 5 or you want to make the small one to be 2. So what I want us to do now is I want us to create space here because it's not looking nice here. So how do we do it now? Select the Euro section, the main section, and then the padding top. It has to be what? Let's give it 40. You can see what we have now. But make sure that it's set to all content first. All right? And then padding bottom, if you like, you can make it 40. But if you don't like, you can leave it because you are going to create another section that's going to have padding top as 42. Now we have it as 42. Right? This way you can see now that if you want to move this around now, you just create everything, move it around. And if you're working with design system, this is a top-notch approach for it because you have each element to be a component by itself. Even if you are designing different websites now, if you want to use this style now, you can just copy these components and then go and restyle it. So that way you are going to be about 2 times faster than the normal designer. That's why I wanted to structure your design this way. Okay, so let's move on to this. Let's see if we have the time to quickly explain this. So what I want to do now is, now I will now show you, if you're working with a particular container, it will over the time, to make you to understand or memorize all the spacing. Because if you take a look at it, the space between this and this one is 187. Between this one and this one is what? 300. This one is, I think, is 4 something. 413 and so on and so forth, right? So this is what you want to do. So let me just try to create this one from scratch. So what we have here is you have 413, and then that's the width. The height is 332. So let me just make it 332, and then let me give it a stroke. Stroke, that's shift X, stroke. That's shift X, and then I think I have 9 border radius here. All right, so I'm just going to copy this element. I have it set to 20. It could be anything as far as it's consistent. Okay, and then this one. I'm going to click on this one so that it can align. Then, of course, this description here. All right. So we have this one supposed to be something like probably 40. Yeah, and this one should be 24 or something like that. So we have 20 here. Let me align it to the left. I need to have 20 here as well. Okay, that's good. I think, yeah. So let's call this card. Then I'm going to duplicate it. To duplicate, hope you are still using Figma, is Alt, and then you drag. And then I'm going to press Ctrl D to do it one more time. So what we have here is 3 cards. So these 3 cards, 1, 2, and 3, are now put inside of an auto layout. By itself, you know that this is 40. You know that's all we have here. The layout guide, the gutter spacing. So let's just copy this one after the other. Okay, I'm going to copy and replace this element. The shortcut to copy and replace is Ctrl Shift and R, like this. Then this one, Ctrl Shift and R, and then this one, Ctrl Shift and R. But you can see this one, the way it works is like, because of this is small, we have extra space. It is not good this way. Let's just make we have space at 24. Let's make our space consistent, which is 24. It's okay if you put this card to stretch, it's still okay down for this one to go way beyond 24. I'm not going to do that for this one. No. I'm going to copy all this one, so you can do that for yourself. So this one now, all right, that's Ctrl Shift and R again. You can see this one is auto layout now, and you can see this one is still having almost the size of the container, 1319. That's because of this grid system does not really support the 40 gutter that you're using. That's how we have the space set to 1319. But I don't want that. I want to make it 1320. So the next thing that we are going to do is this space here, this heading here is 50 DM SAS. That's the type of the name of the typography, and then it's bold, 120% line, and then that's basically it. For this one is LoRa, 18, but you can use anything. Just telling you, so that in case you want to do it by yourself, but I'm not going to do that from scratch. Okay, and then this one is 1, 2, 3. So I want to align it. Now we have 60, right? 60, and then 60. Okay, good. You can see the way we are designing. I'm designing now. I don't have to think a lot about the spacing. The spacing is already there. So 1, 2, 3. I want to copy this one. Yeah, let's see what we have. We need to have like 40. I don't want the space to be too. And here too, to have like 42. You can see what I'm pressing to get the space. Hot. Hot will always be showing you the space. 1, 2, 3. And here, let me see the, yeah, good. So we have this CTA, this, let me rename this one to card. You can call it card box or card wrapper or card group. I call it card box most of the time. And then this one is section header. You can also call it section text content, something like that. So that's how we have. So we want to make all of them to be inside of what? Of container. And that, of course, is put it inside of what? You can also, if you don't want to issue with this auto layer, you can say from selection. As you can see, they have 1320 by default. But you know me, I'm going to use auto layout. Shift and A, auto layout. So we are good now. So let me just drag this one like this, small. Then I'm going to create another auto layout again. Let me call this one container. So the thing is that the developer now, when they look at your design, I mean, the one that I know what they are doing, when they come here, they know this is container, size is 1320, this one is 1320, 1220. They will define like a system for a container that the size is going to be 1320. If you have a smaller one, maybe the smaller one is like this. Of course, you can have smaller one for maybe things that are they are center. This one, all of them they are the same thing. So there's no smaller container here. But if you have something that is at the center, then you can have smaller container. Then the developer will know that, okay, this is small container, this is main container. So that way everything will just be easy down for everything scattered on the page. Okay. So let me enlarge this one a little bit. So what we want to do is we want to put inside of a section. Remember, this is a container. To do that, press Control, Alt, and G. And then we have the frame. So let's rename this one to what? That's property. This is property section. You can call it property, you can call it properties, anyone that you like. And then Shift and A, we have auto layout. So we want to make it 1440 like this. And then you know what we need to do now, right? This property, this one is set to fill container now. We don't want it. We want it to be fixed width. And the fixed width is what? 1320. Are we okay? So here now, we want to center this one. Alt and H to center it. And then here, we want to make this one to not container property. We want to make it to be at the center. But we want to make it center so that we can give it our padding top and bottom like this, 40. So we are okay. So you can see we have 40 padding top and bottom. And then we have 60 padding left and right. The same way we are going to be doing it until you finish this design. All right? That's what I want you to structure it. Now, I'm not particularly concerned about the container size that you might use or you want to use. But what I really concerned about is that I want you to structure your design as you have it as header. Inside the header, we have container, no matter the size. And then we have hero. Inside the hero, we have container, no matter the size, and so on and so forth. Understand? And of course, the spacing should be consistent. Now, before I go now, I want you to pay attention to one particular thing, what I already said. The space here to this place is how many now? If I let me make this one to be close to this place. Property. This one is one having this fraction, but that's not a problem. Let me just make it to be that 0.24. So the space here from this section, this zero section and this property section is how many now? It is what? 80. Because here we put this margin bottom of 40, and here we put margin top of 40. So if you want to make it like 30 now, or 60, you have to come to this place, and then you make this one to what? To be 30, and this one to be 30. I'm just saying because sometimes you may want it a little bit less, okay, like this. Eh, so that's how you work with this kind of structure, and this is like the best as far as I'm concerned. Or this will make your design to look good. But do not worry about the design. This design is looking a little bit too big. But that's kind of the moon board. Shift and G to toggle out that grid. Well, it's not really bad, of course. So if you like, create this property page, everything. I'm going to provide it later on so that you can be able to include it in your portfolio. All right, this is nice. And then just go through it. The other thing I want to put your attention is if you click on this place, right? See this, okay, here. You can say preset preview. Not that. Disable. Um, I don't think it's here. It should be in view. Yeah, this is what I want. So now this outline now you can see the way everything is structured now. At this skeleton mode, you can see everything is structured now. So you can see how everything just work one after the other. We still have this one as 10. I think we move it a little bit. That's why you have space here. So you can see, we have no space there. You can see how this is structure, looking sharp, so on and so forth. All right. Yeah, so that's what I want you to know about structuring. And that's how you're going to be structuring all the other challenge that I'm going to be providing that you're going to be doing. Sometimes I will not be asking you to be doing the design by yourself, and sometimes just going to be some instructions on how we are going to be doing it. So that's it for now. Thank you so much for few outline. No show outline again. Okay. So thank you so much for your time. See you next time.